All right, Rano Adidas, welcome to Easy Does It. Thank you so much for saying yes to me and coming onto this podcast. I've always known you, like we know of each other for quite some time now, kan? Tapi like we never had like a one-on-one session or like conversation. Like briefly, from what I can remember, whenever I see you at events, like we probably catch up a little bit, like macam small talk about movies because you're a movie junkie.
Touch and go.
Touch and go, yeah, with consent. But now I'm so happy that I get to have you here because I have so much that I want to ask you. Like, because I'm curious about the things that you do. At the same time, I'm also curious about you as a person. Because like, for me, like if I get to have a show and talk to someone for an hour, I would like to have like as much as valuable information for myself and also like whoever's listening. So thank you so much for being open and saying yes.
Yeah. Thanks for the invitation as well. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I should be the one. Like, I feel so honored to have you here. Yeah. Okay, so we can start with you sharing your origin story because you've been in this field for quite some time sudah. I'd like to know like how did you first start, and just imagine if someone were to approach you, hey Rano, I want to make a movie about Rano. What tidbits of your life would you include in that movie? Yeah, so we can start off with that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can speak in Malay, English, whatever.
So, well, the word Rano Adidas sebenarnya it's not like it's a call sign saja. It's nothing to do with me. It's a social media handle or me knowing as a blogger. It was people knowing me as the guy who loves Adidas, and that's nothing to do with what I'm doing right now sebenarnya. So it happened a long time ago pulang. Like it's actually from a breakup. Yeah, the word. Yeah, if I was to pull back the story, is I think back in 1996 kali. Yeah, so that time I felt, hey, like I felt that she could be the one, you know.
Yeah.
Well, every time when he goes in a relationship, you always think that she is the one.
Yes.
But this one, I thought that she was the one.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, 1996, how old were you back then?
20.
Oh my God, okay. Young love. And then?
20. So we were in a serious relationship, and it was only like maybe, well, it's only 3 months into the relationship. And of course, like, when people say in 3 months, normally it's the honeymoon stage, right? But there were cracks already in the honeymoon stage. Normally the cracks happen like a bit after lah.
Yep.
So I remember one time that maybe for me, if I was to put myself back then, I was quite an emotional guy. Maybe too attached to people as well. Belongings, you know, people or things that I love. I'll be so attached. But I guess why it didn't work, well, sometimes it's easy for me to say, right? It's my side of the story instead of her side of the story.
Yeah.
But technically, there was so much evidence that she was in the wrong lah. Right? So I was totally heartbroken. And that time, I remember I had to do a surprise visit because at the time I was in Singapore for 3 months. Accompanying my mom back then. She was having a major surgery.
Yeah.
So I said, why don't I do a surprise visit to Brunei? Something is odd here. Because, you know, people may say I'm crazy or maybe I'm the sweetest guy because every single day I wrote letters sent to Brunei.
Yeah.
Call her from the hotel.
Yeah.
Spend like thousands of dollars on telephone bill.
Yeah.
Back then there was no WhatsApp,
There
no
was no
SMS.
WhatsApp, yeah.
It's old school in terms of communication. So I thought like, I never get a single letter from her.
So you wouldn't know if she received those letters or not,
She
or
did.
did you? Oh, so
She
you
did.
knew you knew she received those letters
because I talk every day with her, right?
yeah.
On the phone.
Yeah.
So it's always me giving and giving. Then then someone told me, hey Rano, you better watch out. My friend back then, he didn't give me the full details lah, but told me to watch out.
Yeah.
But you know, back then, you know, sometimes people say this way, the phrase "love is blind," you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't really care what my friend said, but I said, okay, let's do this. Let's make a surprise visit. So I visited Brunei for 1 day, less than 24 hours. I'm back in Singapore, and I can see with my own eyes that I found out that I was the light bulb. I was the third wheel in the relationship.
Oh my God, Rano.
Yeah.
How did you find out?
Wheel, like what?
But how? Like, how did you find out?
I saw it with my own eyes.
She was with another guy.
Yeah, she was with another guy.
It looks romantic.
And then, well, wasn't I won't say romantic, but she felt awkward. And
there was guilt written all over her face, lah.
I guess I was angry at the same time, happy to see her at the same time. But I guess it was like a band-aid, lah. Like, okay, lah, at least I had to fly back the next day to Singapore. So I didn't dump her on
The spot.
On the spot. I dumped her when I was back in Singapore, gave her a final call and said, that's it. I'm going to let you go. Said this is going to work out. And I found out a lot of things, lah.
After that, how did she react in that phone call?
I didn't really remember because, sometimes when it's like, when you go to an accident, you have this aftershock. You don't think about anything else. You think about your what's going through your mind. So that time I didn't really care about her response.
Yeah.
So when I hang up the phone, I think it's a huge sigh of relief, I would say, because I can tell you, like, most of the time when I was contemplating, right, something's not right, I wasn't myself. Like, I was like a zombie lah. Zombie meaning that I'm not saying I eat humans, but I wasn't eating at all. I was walking around in the hotel room, like I was walking at every corner and space of the room.
Yeah.
The only time that made me sane was the Euro 96.
Football, right?
Football, yeah. Because I was into football, and so that kept me sane for a while.
Yeah.
So ever since I dumped her, I thought to myself, I'm going to throw all the colors in my life. So I was like, how am I going to do this? All right. I saw my savings, right? My mom had been saving me all this. And then that time I remember it was a book, a savings book. And I say, okay. I remember my mom was pumping money from Hari Raya lah.
Yeah. Oh my God, you mean that savings book? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. Oh yeah, yeah. The one like they had to put in there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
HSBC or?
I think it was Hong Kong Bank.
HSBC. Yeah.
HSBC. So I remember I had it with me in Singapore. And I said, okay, I'm going to do something crazy. So I went to the bank, I was a kid, but kira macam, well, in 20s pulang, but I didn't know what to do with it. I said, okay, I'm going to withdraw as much as I can and then go on a shopping spree. So what I did was, I'm going to change my whole wardrobe black and white. So I threw away all my color clothes, the mirror, everything I changed. And then I really did that. Singapore is the best place to shop, kan?
Yes.
For all these black and whites. So that I was wearing black and white for a couple of years. Yeah, white pants, weird lah.
Yeah.
Stripes, white.
Yeah.
And then I think I was studying in Malaysia one time. So when studying in Malaysia, that's when people start to realize, hey Rano, you seem to be loving Adidas, huh? So why? Yeah, look, most of your attire is always in Adidas.
Yeah.
So
also, that wasn't like a conscious thing.
Yeah.
You just wanted to wear black and white. But it all turned out to be Adidas.
Yes.
Okay, because maybe they were the ones who were only pumping out black and white clothes.
Maybe there are more choices in black and white than in Adidas. And I said, benar kan? I went home, I went home and checked my clothes. Oh, shoot. A lot of them were in Adidas. So like 70% of my wardrobe. And then every day, like people, hey, Rano, the guy who loves Adidas. Hey, Rano Adidas.
Yeah.
So my friends from KL is the one who coined that name.
Oh.
At that time, there was no social media yet. There was no blogs. This was back in 98.
Yeah.
So I think it was, So it's 3 years after the breakup lah.
Yeah. Oh my God. So that's how it started. The origin story of Rano, the name Rano Adidas. Yeah.
And then,
wait, what's your full name again? I know we have the same name, Iskandar.
Haji Muhammad Rano Iskandar.
Oh, so Rano is Andang, your name. Oh, so Rano Adidas. Oh my God. Yeah.
So ever since then I said, okay lah, maybe, I have a new identity now.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, I allow people to brand me, as a guy who loves Adidas. So ever since then, I just changed my whole wardrobe again.
Yeah.
This time, yes, suddenly by that time I was a very happy guy already. I wasn't in any relationship. I think I didn't have a relationship for quite some time.
After that.
Yeah. So
so you just embraced the Adidas persona.
Yeah,
and took it literally and just put on all the Adidas wardrobe.
Yeah. So that's how it started. But when it comes to the blogging scene, this one is quite I think it's accidental as well.
Okay.
I remember I was in Brisbane. I was doing my degree back then. Um,
Degree in what?
I was doing degree in business administration.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of business management lah.
Yeah.
So back then there weren't any much Bruneians, but I didn't have much friends as well. That's the ironic thing. All my friends were the one I made from that I knew from Brisbane. I think Iqbal Damit.
Yes.
He was in my batch.
Yeah.
Mullah Muzakir was in my batch as well, which is Najib Yaakob punya brother.
Okay.
Yeah,
Najib
Mullah Yazid
Oh,
Yaakob. Yeah.
oh my God.
So Mullah
Yeah.
Muzakir was also. I was kind of like helping him as well. Who else? There's quite a lot of us. That time was a small bunch of students from Brunei, because that time they had like a bridging program from Brunei and Australia. So I was there for 2 years, and there was this community. They call it. They didn't call it social media, but it was a community punya kind of like website. They call it eCircles.
Okay, eCircles.
Yeah, it's very. I think those people in the in my gen would know.
Yeah,
the people in MIRC would know. MSN would know.
Okay, I know that, but I've never heard of eCircles.
You never heard of eCircles,
No, yeah.
So eCircles was the in thing back then. There was no other social media platform. So it's basically the same format as Facebook.
Okay,
But
so you can add friends.
You can add friends,
Drop
but it's limited friends.
testimonials.
You have limited friends though.
Okay.
So they have a limit of maybe 500 friends that you can invite.
Yeah.
So back then I was posting, okay, this is so silly though. Because back then there was no digital prints.
Yeah.
You cannot do anything that's digital. So I remember I had a camera, like a camera that has a Kodak lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Film camera.
Huh?
Film camera?
Film camera. Yeah. So I think it was a Konica brand. And I love taking pictures back then. So I was taking random pictures. So I like taking candid shots. Yeah.
Yeah.
So example, like when I'm taking picture of you, right? I'll probably take 5 different shots of you in one go without knowing the result. Because I won't know until I actually
Print it out. Yeah. Oh my
Send
God,
to the
those
dark
were the
room and get the
days.
print out.
Yeah.
So I would spend lots of money. Like let's say if in Australia, I'll take some shots. Certain events, I'll typically use 2 rolls, 2 or 3 rolls, print them out. And then, it's physical, can't print, right? It's not digital. I had to scan them. So I bought a scanner.
Yeah.
I scanned like pictures that I thought that, okay, this would be nice to post on eCircles.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of work, like per photo, I remember it was like 3 minutes to wait to be scanned into digital print.
Yeah.
Then edit the photo again, then post it on eCircles.
Yeah.
But that created a lot of hype. People love it.
Yeah.
People like to be seen. Like, oh, Rano, I like this candid shot. It wasn't professional shot lah, but it was just a candid shot. And people were commenting.
Yeah.
And then some random people just want to be in my eCircles. So it came to a point, it was until the 500 mark, right? So you can add any more friends.
Whoa, you were already famous back then on eCircle.
And people just want to know. You see photos.
Yeah.
And at that time also I had friends who were, I would say, good looking lah.
Okay.
They like to comment on those photos.
Yeah.
I remember one of my friends, Liana Razak. Back then she was a hot item lah.
Yeah.
She's still a hot item lah. But back then, I remember people like, there wasn't likes in that photo, but there were people commenting lah.
Before the existence of
it
likes.
was her and her cousins, I remember.
Okay.
It's a photo that I posted and created a lot of hype.
Was she also studying in Melbourne?
No.
Oh, so eCircle is from like all over.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I knew her. She was a mutual friend. Yeah, and I remember I organized a gathering. So when I came back to Australia, I organized a big gathering at the beach.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was inviting people that I knew online, and they became friends, and we just mushroomed from there. But then, before that happened, like the bubble burst for eCircles.
Okay.
They went bankrupt.
Oh, wow.
So they went bankrupt. Like, okay, which platform am I gonna use now?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, eCircle. There was what we call Community Zero.
Wait, I have never heard this.
See?
Wait, I'm waiting for the moment when you're gonna mention Friendster or MySpace.
Not yet.
Oh my god, this is way back.
Yeah, Community Zero. I think that happened like 1 year before Friendster became popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Community Zero, it's a better version, I would say. I prefer it. It's user friendly. And it had more reach, I would say. That was buzzing crazier than eCircles.
Oh.
I mean, I could do polls. It's easy lah, I would say. The interface is really cool, and that also drive a lot of people into my platform.
Yeah.
But there's also a downside. Even though I can add as many friends, they're what you call a hit meter. So if you reach a certain number of hits, I can't remember how many thousand. I think it's maybe 40,000 or 50,000 hits. It will be blocked. Only I can access it. My friends couldn't see like any more. Maybe they only can see the front page.
Why?
But they can view, because that's the deal by Community Zero. They set a bar.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I said until it resets the beginning of the month. Then it goes back to zero hits. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was how popular my Community Zero, right?
Oh,
A lot of
wow.
people, like, I was still doing the same thing, posting candid photos. That time I cannot post any videos lah. There was polls as well. So that was very, very interesting lah. Until it came to a point, Community Zero started to ask people to subscribe. That means they have to pay. Right?
Yeah.
So I said, hold on, if I was to pay, yeah, I don't mind paying. But what about the few thousand people who follow me?
Yeah.
Are they willing to pay?
Yeah. Also, if you subscribe, everyone else would have to subscribe to.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's work that
yeah.
way, kan? So they make it into a business entity lah.
Yeah. Do you remember
Community
how
Zero.
much?
I can't remember, but it wasn't expensive.
Yeah.
But it was per month lah.
Okay.
But you know how Brunei is.
Yeah.
That once you get something free, like when Jurong Pop was free back then,
Yeah.
and then they start to charge, it'll take a while for people to
Exactly.
accept it.
Yeah.
So same thing with Community Zero lah. So I was saying, oh no, I already moved from eCircles to Community Zero.
Yeah.
I don't want to go find another platform. Then I just have to keep moving, and it's like a nomad.
Oh, wow. A digital nomad.
And then I was like, okay, maybe someone suggested, why don't you create a blog? Do a blog. Okay, the time there was Blogger.
Yeah.
Blogger, yeah. Blogspot.
Yes.
Yeah, blogger.com, which is blogspot.com.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I had my first, I remember the person involved in this was Nisa.
Anissa.
Bonita Shures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Nisa she was my coder.
No way.
Yeah,
Wait.
she was my coder. And
Kanisa is a coder.
Yeah. And
Was she already in HSBC?
No, that time she was...
Way before?
No, I knew her from eCircles, actually.
Oh my god.
Actually, I knew her from eCircles. I didn't know her personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew her from eCircles, and we became friends from there. But then she was one of my close friends lah. I mean, she's still my close friend. But back then we were hanging out, and I remember in that time she told me, "I can help you. I know how to do coding." Because she did coding when she was doing some. I think she has her own blog. I think so. She had her own blog. That time I'm quite. I don't know. I'm quite a noob lah.
Yeah.
You know, even if you ask me now, I don't know how to create. I don't know the coding.
Coding
I
programming.
just leave it to someone else to help.
Yeah.
So Nisa was the one helping me lah. She designed using the code. She able to create a template.
Oh my god.
And then the one who created the logo was Fadi Sulaiman,
Adi Sulaiman.
the one who is now
Hyundai.
He's a yeah.
Oh my god. This is the origin story of every single person.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
I
god.
remember Fadi Sulaiman. I don't know how it came about, but I remember he was the one who designed. It was the first logo lah. It was the first. It was called ra.com that time. The logo was ra.com.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get the RA. I was trying to get ra.com, but people were selling me crazy at that time, that price. So he created the logo. So Nisa was the one who created the coding. I just had to do my typing and, so Blogger at the time was quite easy to use. And then who else came in? I think Livy Ong.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Livy Ong was involved in the back end in terms of the hosting.
Yeah.
So back then, they said, okay, so this happens in Blogspot, right? Same thing applies to Community Zero.
Yeah.
So if you have a number of hits,
They'll block it.
not block, the image will suddenly become like a error image.
Yeah.
You cannot load because I'm using too much hits. I was generating too much hits.
Yeah. So you would have to wait until the next week. Bortahari said.
Yeah. So this I said, why don't you get a hosting? Hosting. So that means I have to buy the hosting lah. Buy the hosting, buy the space. So
And it's per month, right?
Per month.
Yeah.
So I think back then I didn't spend as much lah. So I can't remember how much it was, the hosting.
And the reason why you wanted to commit to ra.com back then is because you already had a following.
Yeah.
So now you wanted to continue that.
Yeah.
But still posting candid pictures or?
So back then, right, I was thinking, how can I inform people that I have this blog?
Yeah.
So it was a word of mouth. Yeah, surprising word of mouth. So I went from, I remember I was looking at the figures. It was from 100 people, and then 300 people, 400 people, and then the highest, it went until 20,000 plus people.
No way.
Back then, yeah.
How did you feel when you saw that number?
I said, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, yeah.
You had a presence in like the digital hemisphere.
Yeah, but
way
I would say my typing was a bit chowy lah, you know.
I don't think anybody cares at that point.
People, so, but I was also happy back then that there was digital already. Like, so I remember it was my first Casio small little digicam.
Yeah.
Well, the megapixel 2.0 lang, but who cares? Like I don't have to scan every photo.
Yeah.
So that make it easier for me to upload photos. So back then I would say that I was carrying around. Okay, with me when I was carrying around is an SLR and a notebook, laptop lah, and a bag. So everywhere I go, I'm always holding that. So I am always updating on the go. So you know how people do on social media, you can take a photo and you just can post it straight away.
Yeah.
I do that semi-tap lang. So I just find a cafe after I take a
Oh, you were so committed already back then.
Yeah. After an event or anything, it doesn't have to be event, but things that I thought that is worth posting, I'll go to find a cafe, sit down, find the place where they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So how this all happened? Did you have a day job ataupun?
Oh yeah, I did have a day job.
Yeah.
So I was working in a few of my mom punya businesses lah.
And then on the side, you did this blogging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the time I remember when I started blogging, I was in midst of managing Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
So me and my sister lah, when we first opened the first Coffee Bean lah, first Coffee Bean, the second Coffee Bean. But I decided like, okay, maybe if I want to pursue this full time, then I just have to let go of Coffee Bean lah. Yeah.
Did you have to like ask your permission from anybody to like?
I guess the only thing I have to tell my mom lah, like, hey,
you wanna?
I think I want to pursue this lah. Yeah, because actually my mom that time she didn't know what I was doing. All she saw me was sometime in the living room, you know, because sometimes when she go for her
Treatments?
Not treatment lah. I mean, because every single day she'll go past this living room lah.
Okay.
She'll do her things lah.
Yeah.
But
and she would just see you there.
She'll see me, just noticing me doing my computer, and she probably think that I'm just bumming around.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But one time, I think she was surprised when she saw me. Hey, Rano's on TV.
What was that?
I don't know. I can't remember. But she said, wow, Rano's on TV, being interviewed, blah, blah. And then she actually told her sisters lah and all that lah. And my cousin like, oh, Rano on TV. I'm so proud of you. Then only then she found out what I was doing. Yeah, she knows that I run.
So you were by that time a full-fledged blogger.
Yeah, I would say that maybe that time I took the risk and became a blogger full time when I found out that I can actually make a living out of it.
Yeah. What was the first deal or the first job that you got for blogging? Because
this is very funny though. I remember this is 2005, I think I started. So the first there's two incidents lah. There's two benchmark lah. Point of my blogging that I want to share.
Yeah.
The first one was basically, sugar and spice.
No way.
Yeah, sugar and spice.
Back when you could sheesh.
Yeah, back when you shisha, but I wasn't promoting shisha pulang.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this was during Ramadan, I remember, and I told Ridwan, hey, he was the owner, kan? I think he's still the owner. He's the owner, yeah.
Oh.
So it was, I think it's in Kilap. That time was that place was trending, you know. I think not just
it was
the
a cool
shisha.
place to be back then.
Yeah, the food was great as well. So I told Ridwan, hey, you know, I support you a lot, kan? Let's come here, kan? Why don't you support me back? Say, what do you want? I want to promote one of your dish. I say, actually, it's not a dish. It's your dessert, your ice cream. Oh, okay, boleh. Tapi 50 boleh kah?
Oh, wow.
$50 lah, it says. 50 okay lah, boleh lah.
Yeah.
So it's willing. So I took a shot of the ice cream, posted it on my blog. That time was during Ramadan.
Yeah. And then
so you know lah, during Ramadan.
Yes.
Oh wow, people crave lah, you know.
Yeah.
So that was really high selling for them.
Oh
they
my
sold
God.
a lot of ice cream back
The
then.
Rano Effect. That's where it started.
It's funny, it's during Ramadan kan. Normally it will be the buffet, you know. But people went there
but
for the
I need
ice
dessert.
cream.
Yeah. So
So I knew from then, oh, this really works. So I started knocking on. So what I did was I was knocking on people's door.
Yeah.
Who are my friends who runs businesses. So we have people like Ageg, who were her family business is Gohoki. So Gohoki is one of my first clients.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, did they also pay you 50 or more?
No, they paid me more. Triple that time.
Triple? Wait,
Yeah,
so wait,
that time,
50 times 3 is berapa?
150 lah.
Oh, okay.
Back then, okay lah, 150.
Yeah, it's still okay, yeah. To start, right?
Yeah.
But you already had so many clicks by then. Like,
I don't know how it works. So the format of my blog is basically in the middle part is basically where I do my posting, but at the sidebars are where I put all my sponsors.
The ads lah.
Yeah, the ads.
oh.
So I remember back then, Gohoki was my first in terms of a different industry in terms of advertising, because the other ones are mostly food lah. But the big one I would say was when I remember I wanted to interview someone, and I remember it was Tariq Mahmood.
I don't know why, but I had an inkling it was something to do with HSBC.
Yeah. Tariq Mahmood. So that was
Wait, so for context, Tariq Mahmood was one of the youngest HSBC CEOs back then, and he was in Brunei for like I think a couple of years.
He's an Iraqi.
Yeah, he's an Iraqi. Yeah, so he was the CEO of HSBC Brunei. Yeah, and then
So I didn't want to. Well, they came to me sebenarnya. So it was one of the marathon or walkathon event lah that he was happened to be there. And then all I did was take a shot of him, you know, new CEO of HSBC in Brunei, and I hope I can interview him one day. So the next week I got a call from HSBC. Tariq Mahmood saw your post and he's more than happy to be interviewed.
Oh my God.
So I remember we went to Coffee Bean at Bandar lah, sit down, and that was my first time actually talking to someone on the management level lah.
Yeah.
And then I realized like, wow, okay, this is a nice feeling lah.
Yeah. You know? So another endeavor that you could start.
Yeah. Because you know why? Back then, I think HSBC, which is already defunct, they rejected my proposal. Not rejected lah, because I had friends who are working there lah. So I did ask my friend, hey, any noise kah from the marketing department? So no, but I found out like if you go from the top.
You thought of shoot. Don't go di bawah.
You don't go. You don't go upwards. You go from the top. You go downwards.
Yes.
And that was I found. Oh, this is. So I thought that wow, this is an eye opener for me, and I felt that I guess it's all about networking, people that you know. So when HSBC came on board, it opened so many doors. I had SCB coming in. I had Baiduri coming in. Also. And I was struggling because I wouldn't say I was being bullied, but I was put in a position where I was given a choice. Okay, they want to have exclusivity, and they want to
because
be
they're the
exclusive.
same industry.
And I said, "Oh, we'll pay you this much." And I was thinking, "Wow, it's nice to be in the situation, but at the same time, I don't want to be, I don't want to give like to limit myself, and I still want to be independent." And I still remember like one of the banks were quite adamant lah. They really said that they really wanted
Exclusivity with you.
Yeah.
How much were they offering, Rano? You gotta tell us.
They didn't mention about the offer.
Oh, they haven't placed it yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
but for me, it's like, I was already tempted at that time. I was tempted that whether I let go of this, you know. And that time, my blog was still, it was really hot lah, I would say. Even though the interesting part is there were 1,000 blogs at that time when I had my blog lah. So the community is quite big, and I was thinking, should I go for this? And then at the same time, I had an offer. Someone wants to buy me out.
As in buy the entire blog?
Yeah, they want to buy me out, but they say you can we'll pay you. I think I remember they want to pay me about $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month just for me to upload. We'll take control of your blog.
Yeah. All you have to do is upload. Oh my, what?
Yeah.
And then?
And then I was thinking, $2,000 a month. I mean, that time, like, I didn't have much.
Yeah, the fact that you were thinking about it, does that mean that you've already earning more?
No, because that time I wasn't doing any proper calculations lah.
Okay.
But I'm saying that this is quite it will be stable for me lah if I was to do, right. But they get all the rights, meaning that whatever
the IP.
Yeah, in the IP and also the advertisements and all that.
Yeah.
So I was still a bit naive back then lah. Like, when you have second thoughts, that means I'm still naive.
Yeah.
I wasn't confident of my product.
Okay. Did you not consult anybody, ask anyone?
I did ask one of my friends.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what was the advice. But I know in my heart it's like I'm not going to give this away lah. And after much thought, I told them, no, I rejected lah.
Yeah.
I said no, I don't think this is going to work. And I said that I think that I can create more lah. I mean, I didn't tell them, but for me personally, I know.
Yeah.
And then
you know it's worth more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, the company went bankrupt. Not bankrupt lah, it closed down.
Oh my god.
So imagine, right? Okay, imagine.
That was your gut instinct too.
I'm not saying that the gut instinct that they will close down, but my gut instinct is not to.
Yeah, I mean
not
to turn down the offer. I mean.
Yeah. So I was thinking, okay, so when it closed down, I was thinking, what happened if I actually gave everything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would have to buy them back maybe or something.
Not buy them back, but I have to start from scratch.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the HSBC one and the Sugar Spice was the pinnacle in terms of making it generating more interest in the public eye. Yeah.
What is your biggest during your blog? We haven't even touched Instagram yet. Oh my god! But during your blogging era, what was the biggest, most memorable deal you've ever had? Like the one that you're like, okay, oh my god, wow, like this is it. Like I've made it basically.
I won't say it was a mega deal. It wasn't as much, but I remember this. It can be seen as controversial.
Okay.
I remember, I think, I don't know what ministry was called back then. But it's relating to Ministry of Primary Resources lah.
Here in Brunei.
Yeah.
Okay.
MIPR. I think the time was called, Ministry of Industry and Primary Resources.
Okay.
And that time, they had the Deputy Minister, Dato' Hamdillah. And he came up to me, Rano, I'm willing to pay you. All I need is a premium banner. Put a premium banner on the top of your and said that, okay, anyone who want to ask questions for him, open. It's like an open question lah. So he's so it's like campaigning himself.
Yeah.
Like that, he's willing to have an open book session with him. So, okay.
Damn. Okay. And then
I said, all right. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah. So I did it for I can't remember how long it was.
Yeah.
But I thought that was quite interesting and unique in the same time lah, because I never seen any government agency or people in that level are willing to have an open session with a deputy
Did
minister.
it work? Did people actually?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted it, kan.
Mm.
So at that time, I didn't know about any restrictions and all that.
Mm.
The second one, I won't say it's a milestone, but it's a learning curve, a learning point where I actually interviewed one of the royal members, royal member family.
Okay.
And
Which one?
Karol Khalil.
Okay.
Yeah, I just interviewed him because that time he was about to get about to be married, kan?
Before ne.
Yeah, before. So I'll just get some tidbits and from the blog lah. I posted the article, the interview, and then I got called from I think JPM. Yeah, I called and said, "Rano, this is this information you shouldn't be sharing." I said, "Yeah, but I got permission from Pengiran." And they said, no, yeah, but he can understand, yes, but this is also protocol. This is also to make sure the safety of the royal family members lah. I said, they understand, because there were some questions that I was asking in terms of the location, where they're going for, that kind of stuff, right?
Okay, yeah.
I then I understand. Oh yeah, true. These are quite sensitive information, and very personal as well.
Yep.
So in terms of security reasons lah. So I said, okay, then I can understand.
Yeah. Oh, so it's a legit ano lah.
Yeah. By the time I was a bit like, I thought I was in control. When you think you're in control, but sometimes Brunei doesn't work that way.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's where I started to learn, okay, maybe I must ask myself, yes, what's the purpose of this post? If there will be any repercussions or worst case scenario, what will happen? So every time when I post, I always have to have this buffer lah.
Yeah.
Like to make sure that, okay, is it safe to post?
And it's only you asking yourself. You don't consult anybody usually.
No, normally it's just trial and error.
Oh.
Yeah. So there were times also, okay, this one quite interesting pulang. Duli Raja sometimes comes and visit for Hari Raya. So I posted a photo.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Junjung Kasih and all that, I got called.
Again. Wow, they have your number on speed dial.
Can you remove the photo? Then I was trying, why remove the photo? Then I can understand why pulang.
But why? But it's in your house, right?
Yeah, but
okay.
But it could have a wrong implication, meaning that how come they didn't visit other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to create that kind of...
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that time, maybe, is it because people weren't aware who your mother was?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why.
I'm not too sure about that one, pulang. But...
Because it's not, I mean, obviously, she would go to your house, right?
Yeah.
Like, thinking logically lah. Yeah.
So, that point macam, okay, that's... I just find that okay pulang. But I can understand also from that point of view. So, okay, maybe not.
Yeah. So you took it down?
Yeah, I took it down. No. So there's a few instances lah where, but the great thing is I felt that the relationship with me and especially the info department was good. I really appreciate lah.
Yeah. So instead of like macam rebelling, you're like, okay, I'll cooperate.
Rebelling, but I guess it's a win-win situation where I felt this is a long term lah.
Yes.
Because I'm not officially accredited into info department. I don't really apply for it. Yeah, because if I do apply, there'll be a lot of restrictions.
Exactly. So you would rather work independently.
Yeah. But at the same time, I have established this relationship that
So like, okay, those are very interesting moments, and I can understand whenever it involves like the royal family, there are tips lah apa semua. But like, it's good to know that you're like very chilled about it. Tapi has there been any moments, we're still talking about your blogging era, yeah? Do you have any like moments where you were like rock bottom, or that blogging era was still like really like high for you?
Rock bottom, okay. Now if I want to think back, right, there was certain things that I regret doing.
Okay.
There were things that maybe if we say rock bottom is like, it's more about
like hitting a low point.
I won't say hitting a low point. I would say I will hit a low point because I don't have any closure. So I was abusing my power status on the blog.
Okay.
Meaning that I put people down.
Oh.
Yeah.
You put people down, like, what do you mean by that?
Okay. There's one instances like my friend, well, Brunei is small kan circle.
Yeah.
So I kind of like put a lot of salt in this guy because he's trying to pursue my friend, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, and my friend didn't want, you know, and he was a nice guy, but I made him into a
Villain.
unlikable person.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And for me, I still have that regret lah. Yeah, so I felt that I shouldn't be abusing that way.
Yeah.
And then another one was another person was he owns this salon, and that time my girlfriend then, right, she had a problem with the salon. Like, oh, the hair didn't turn out well.
Yeah.
So I literally blog about it, complain. It affected his business.
Oh
His
my
business
God.
really went down.
Yeah.
And he's quite well known.
Yeah.
And I really felt bad. I really felt bad about
After
it.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I haven't apologized to him pulang.
Yeah.
But you know, I felt like maybe one day if I see him, I want to just
Say a story.
yeah. He blocked me on Instagram, and you know,
Really?
yeah, and I know lah. It's like, so I felt that sometimes with too much power, sometimes you must know that we are still human.
Exactly.
Yeah. So so I'm very, very careful now. You know, what's my intention, what's my purpose,
Yep.
especially when I post.
Yeah.
So I try not to post anything that is very controversial in terms of in bad taste lah. Yeah. So what are the things in my lowest point?
Yeah.
Because when you say about lowest point is basically if something really happened to my blog, you know, if
Yeah.
there was any danger of me, they were shutting me down. You know, like the worst case scenario for me is like they will probably deport me.
Yeah.
I don't know, not deport lah, but maybe arrest me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'll see in other countries that's what they do, kind.
Yes.
People who are very
Those are
rebellious.
too outspoken.
Yeah, outspoken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so far you're good, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, at that time. But like, back to the guy that you were like, the one who was pursuing your friend. Did you get to mend that relationship?
I guess it was more like fire and forget, because we're still in good terms.
Okay.
Yeah, but back then I felt like I'm such a dick lah.
Yeah.
for doing that. And yeah. So I felt that maybe it's about closure lah.
Yeah. Like, I really appreciate you sharing that, because I can understand how, like, back then it's like you have so much, you know, the Rano effect was still very powerful kanto back then, and you felt like, you know, you can say whatever and people will definitely like listen to you and rally behind you. So like I can understand how it gets into your head. And I guess it's unfortunate that it happened, but it happened for a reason, because now you're so much more aware. Like you said, we're only human, and when we're given that power, sometimes when you make bad choices, the risk is that people will start to define you like, oh, that's Rano. Like one mistake that you made, or a couple of mistakes you made in your life, people will forever see you that way. And it's very unfortunate, because that makes it seem like we can't make any mistakes, because just because we have so much influence, or you have so much influence and like have a huge reach. So like I do appreciate you opening that story, and I do hope that you can find closure in some way. Tapi like, when did you start to realize, because some people can get addicted to power, you know, when did you really realize like, oh,
I think
fuck, I made a mistake?
Few years ago lah.
Yeah.
Few years ago, then I was like, sometimes it can eat you up, you know.
Yeah. So it's good that you still have that conscience.
Yeah, I said that conscience, like, you know, like maybe actually I saw that person, especially the one who owns the salon, like once, and I was thinking, should I just go there and just go up to him and confront him and just say, hey, look, you know, I'm sorry for, you know, before, and I didn't mean to do it, you know, because I was still immature back then in terms of how I blog. And because I felt that using my blog, right, meaning that I can influence people to to ride on my view point of view.
Yes.
You know, so that's very dangerous.
I still remember this one story. Like, obviously I knew like who you were, kan, and then like I do check your blog often when I was a kid dulu, and I remember but I didn't know how influential you were. I can't remember what year, but I was like super young, and then I remember I was at a cafe with Kiran Janin. And then we were just talking about stuff. I don't know how it got to talking about you. And it was nothing bad, Plang. He was just stating a fact, like, to me. Like, he was like, oh, you know, like, Rano is super influential. I'm like, oh, like, how influential? He was like, so Kiran told me, like, once I still remember this story until this very day. Like, he was like, oh, he has so much power that one time he went to a restaurant, and either it was bad customer service or the food wasn't that great, and you just casually talked about it. And then the business after that just went south.
Really?
Yeah. And
I can't remember that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've encountered a lot, Pulang. Or like macam maybe some businesses were affected by that. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. And then what happened? But thankfully, the owner of the restaurant reached out to you and invited you to come back. And then you posted another one, which was like, macam, okay lah, you had a great experience the second time around. And then like, all happy and dandy after that. And I was like, that's when I understood like the power that you have.
You know, there's one, I remember one. This is so funny though. The mall Cineplex. So the boss is so kind to actually give me free tickets every time, because he knows that I love to watch movies. So of course movies, I like to rate my movies.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. So there's one time I rated this movie a D.
Don't tell me people didn't go to the cinemas because of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it was a blockbuster movie. Yeah. It was The Mummy 3.
Oh.
It was bad, right?
Wait, I can't remember if it was
Brendan
bad or
Fraser
not.
punya movie lah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 1 and 2 was good, but 3 was wow.
Oh yeah, I think I remember.
It was Jet Li, or I can't remember. There was
an Asian, yeah.
I said, wow, this is really bad. I gave a bad review.
No one went to see it.
It affected the sales.
Oh my God.
And of course, I can understand the boss told me that, I'm sorry, Rano, like, I have to stop giving you free tickets. So, okay, it's fine.
Yeah,
I can understand Pulang.
Yeah.
But I can understand. But I still, of course, support the Cineplex.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing, right? Like, you also want to be genuine with your opinions, So how do you balance that now? Have you found a way to do that?
I find a way, Pulang. So if you notice that most of the time when I do on my social media, I don't really put a bad taste to like or any negativity lah. I will only put like, okay, like maybe movies, yes, I would go. That one, I won't draw the line.
Yeah, but because you're already paying for the ticket.
Yeah, paying for the ticket. But like anything else, like example, like food. Okay, food is something that I felt I can only give information. Give information, give some create awareness to people. But I won't say, oh, don't try this dish. I would prefer to say, okay, why don't you try this particular dish? This is one of my favorite dish in the menu.
Yeah, because there at least has to be something that's good, right?
Yeah. Or I would say this is the best seller in the restaurant or in the cafe. Yeah, so there might be not any. So that means they will probably avoid a dish that is not that great.
Yeah.
So there was this particular restaurant, it's newly open. I went there 5 times actually. So the food was inconsistent. It was good. I ordered the same dish. Yeah. Second time I went there, it wasn't that great. No, it cannot be. I went there, it was okay. It wasn't good as the first, but okay. Then the 4th time I went there, like, oh no. Yeah. So, of course I don't want to say like this food inconsistent.
Oh wow.
So I did put a poll one day.
I saw that. I voted it.
That's when I like, cannot. I was trying to see how people will respond, and people prefer to have more inconsistent food than bad service. Bad service meaning it's slow service lah.
Yes.
Yeah, you probably get your food, because I got my food, I think that time in different restaurant, close to 1 hour.
Oh.
I mean that time I was okay. I didn't have much agenda. I wasn't in a rush, so okay lah. Like I channeled that in a different way instead of being negative. I was like making fun, having a conversation with my friend. Said, "I bet you my food will come within 1 hour."
Yeah,
and she thought that's going to be past in an hour. So I got my food in 56 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we both joke about it and said, okay, well, I'm going to create this poll, to see if people prefer to have inconsistent food over
Good service.
slow service.
Or slow service, yeah.
Yeah. So of course people that replied to me and said, "Oh no, I prefer neither." But I said,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you had a
Ideally,
choice. I would say,
yeah.
which one? So people prefer to have inconsistent food.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was very close. It's a very close race.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, with becoming, okay, so now like we've moved over to like the Instagram era, right? Like did you embrace, oh my God, we forgot about Facebook. But then again, Facebook was more towards like, macam connecting and stuff.
Yeah.
You still had that.
But it's funny though, like when all this, okay, so when I was blogging, at the same time social media started to pop up, which is Facebook, Twitter, Facebook and Twitter lah. So I was quite prominent on Twitter as well.
Yes.
Back then. But when Instagram came, I remember this was in 2009.
Yeah.
2009. I was one of the early adopters.
Yes.
Because I always like to try new things, kan. And I was thinking, maybe this one could be the next big thing, not Facebook. Because it's so easy. People just scroll,
Yes.
Facebook is too wordy and this and that.
Yep.
But funny thing is, when I go to other countries, so other countries still find Facebook quite relevant. No?
Yep.
And Brunei is a bit different.
Right now, yeah. Dulu it was big still, but now I feel like it's yeah.
So other countries, they still find Facebook. People do Facebook Live more than using Instagram Live. But I think 2010, 11, I was still there, but only couple of years ago, only when I started, okay, maybe I'm going to shift more from the blog to social media. Yeah, because a lot of people are actually, especially a lot of my clients are on social media also.
Yeah.
So it's easier, easier to sort of connect lah.
Yeah.
It's easier.
So is the blog still around, or
The blog is still around, but I only use it for reference point.
okay, so not as active lah.
Not as active. So maybe I'll probably blog like once a month.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
So now it's like more on Instagram. Yeah.
On Instagram.
Okay. Besides those social media apps, right? Like, are you also? I'm pretty sure you also read like Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reddit and stuff. That's where also a bulk of the news that I get from my day pun sana je. But this is a personal opinion thing. Dulu Reddit used to be a place where I would seek like macam I look for intellectual discussions because it was really like people who have stuff to say there are some are valid, some are very like interesting opinions. But now it's turning into like the Brunei FM thing. Like sometimes it's just purely hate there. So prior to this interview, I did like search Rano Adidas because back then I did come across with like, people posting stuff about you. When I got my start on social media, like TikTok and stuff, I faced internet trolls, haters, tapi on a very minuscule level lah. Because when it comes to like getting hate from Instagram or TikTok, people would have to follow you to see it, right? But when your name is plastered onto a public platform where everyone can read, especially Reddit, that can be really like scary to me lah. So how do you deal with like hate comments, internet trolls, people who discuss about you on Reddit or like any other public platform?
I can bring you back to the blogging days lah. So blogging days, I used to have a chat box.
Okay.
So the chat box is like,
I forgot about the chat box.
yeah, chat box is a point where it's like it's the Reddit back then lah. People were commenting about a lot of things.
About you?
No, about
random
they're
stuff.
just sharing stuff also,
Okay.
blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Yeah.
opinions and all that. But there were some people who were quite negative lah. Sometimes they were quite personal. And I remember at one time I ever cried.
Oh my
I ever
God.
cried reading the post. Like, then I keep replying to the person lah on the
You
dashboard.
fought back?
I fought back.
Okay.
And then it just snowballed lah. Like, oh,
Is it because the comments were directed to you personally?
directed to me. It's quite personal. And
Did you remember what they were saying?
they were saying that one thing that hit me is like, you're you're not biological son,
Oh my
you know, that kind of
God.
stuff. And then it just hit me, it's like, oh, why are you talking about this, you know,
Yeah.
blah blah. So I replied back lah, and I
Mm.
was angry, and it was kind of hurtful comment lah. Then I was thinking to myself like, why should I give this power to them? And from them, I started to build my muscle, my emotional muscle on people who are trying to put me down.
Yeah.
So it took a while. So maybe in 1, 2, 3 years, so anyone who said anything that's harsh or anything, I just block it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite immune to it actually, if you ask me. So people sometimes tell me I don't really go on Reddit unless there is someone send me a link, you know, about some certain issues. But some people say, Rano, you're on Reddit, and then it's like, okay, I just said okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to know what they ask, but sometimes they just feed information. Oh, okay, all right, that's what they think. So sometimes the thing is, when people talk about you, that means they either they hate you, or they find you, or you made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
I know like a few of my friends yang kena also like Keropok, also kena
Yeah.
Keropok has a lot of hate as well.
Mm.
But when you think about it, right, people of higher status, I'm not saying that I'm high status, but I'm just saying that people who are of influence lah. So example like
Public figures.
public figures,
Yeah.
or people like, okay, let's say if Brunei is in a democracy lah, people had to vote and all that, you won't get 100% votes,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
If you look at the president of America and all that, they don't get 100% vote. If you get 100% vote, that means everyone is supporting them.
Yeah.
They always have like at least 30% ka, you know, that are not supporting them. And there could be a bunch of haters as well.
Yeah.
So I use that lah. Macam, okay, that's true. I thought that I can please everyone.
Yeah.
When I was starting my blog that time, I said,
Yeah.
I have not done any harm to people, this
Yep.
and that. Why should people hate me?
Exactly.
Yeah, what I have done to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, I mean, for me, sometimes there are certain people that I won't say that I hate, but I don't really like their persona, even though they've not done anything to me.
Yeah.
So I guess same might be applied to people who feel.
Yeah,
that
I
way.
get that. We're not
Yeah.
perfect, right? There
Yeah.
are some people that we dislike.
Yeah.
But then again, to go as far as taking the time to type out a really mean comment that to the point where it's so mean where you want that person to get hurt. That is something that I still cannot fathom until this very day.
I guess it's more about example, right? Someone, it could be this one oddball person who doesn't like this person lah. Like say doesn't like me.
yeah.
I can create a chain ball as a chain reaction lah, where basically I can just say Rano did this, that, and then they'll get other people who has the same.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
It only takes one comment.
one comment.
Everyone will
Yeah,
start
yeah,
to.
yeah,
That's what I learned from
Yeah,
TikTok
yeah.
as well.
But then I always say to myself, sometimes when I do good stuff, this and that, why don't they mention? They always want to mention about the other things that are not, you know,
Nice.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
But I'm okay, you know. So for me, I
So
don't
you've
really,
built it like
yeah.
the Anula a barrier.
I don't really bother about all these comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know I'm true to myself. I know, I mean, I have a lot of friends who, I won't say like support me, that they understand, they know the real me.
They just accept you.
Yeah, and they accept, no, when they see the post, like, nah lah.
Yeah.
They, because they know me, kan?
Yes.
They really know my style, they know my persona. So
Yeah.
they say, oh, these people, they didn't really know you.
Yeah.
So when I see friends who actually understands, or not just understand, but know my persona, then they know that whatever people say on Reddit is rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to live your truest authentic self, because I think that's when you know you're living authentically, is when you start to make other people uncomfortable. Because everyone, the only reason why people are mean is because they are not happy with themselves. They are envious, they're jealous, and that they probably won't admit this, but they probably wish they were in your position. You know, that's all from like, because yeah, I think mostly they just.
But for me, I feel like even they have this feeling, right? I feel I have this compassion for them lah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
maybe they have not really explored themselves. And I always tell to my girlfriend lah, like it's not good to compare yourself, you know. Sometimes you want to compare a lot of other people, you know. I said comparison is always the
Killer of joy.
yeah, it's the that brings envy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some people will have their own personal goals. So yeah, I guess it's for them to discover themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not easy, I would say. It's easy to say now. But if they're able to unlock themselves, then they probably find out that they're better than who they are actually. Yeah. Like for me, I would say that I did mention that I'm quite emotional lah. So last time I will be affected by all this. I'm blue in nature. Blue meaning that I'm a loving guy, you know, caring. I'm a people pleaser, crowd pleaser. So when people have these comments, I will be affected. But I guess the more I go through it, and then rather than absorbing it, I will try to understand myself and said, okay, I know maybe it's not about you, maybe it's them.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to channel, think of ways of how to not to be so caught up because these are just small things that can just ruin your day.
Like, I really hope like now people can just be a little bit kinder, you know, because I know you've built up this barrier around you, but it's still not a good thing to receive any kinds of negativity and hate.
Sometimes you cannot change them, you know. That's why I felt you cannot change them, but you can change yourself lah.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, changing myself is like not to be bothered by them and look for the, you know, sometimes I always tell my friends like who are affected, always look at the, you know, when you look at the paper, people always look at that one single dot.
Yeah.
That one single dot can really affect, but the white dots at the white paper, piece of paper is all about positivity, you know. People tend to focus on just that black dot that can affect you. Because that black dot is just like, for me, it's the people who comment Reddit lah.
Yeah.
People who feel insecure, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're trying to, you know, because that's I meant they only get the power from people who agrees to that message, you
and
know,
who
reacts or reply or respond, and they feel so much power. But they don't realize that that other person is still
human.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say human, but also this doesn't affect them.
Yeah. Okay.
You know. So yeah, for those people who, it doesn't have to be on influencers as well. It can be on people who've been ridiculed on Reddit. Maybe they did some mistake and the people post it online. You know.
Cancel culture.
Yeah. Yeah, cancel culture is Brunei maybe is not as big in other countries. Yeah, they're always trying to look at one weaknesses and one weakness and it's downhill from there lah.
Yeah, like why would you want to spend time worrying about what people think of you?
Yeah.
Like I'm like genuinely like I really appreciate you because like I'm very surprised. Not that I was like ano pulang, but like getting to know you right now, like I just feel like you actually do have like some level of self-awareness through like how many years have you been in this field?
Wow, 21 years actually.
Yeah, so like 21 years, I guess it does build some character and it does build some like thick skin. So like I really am surprised by how well you're handling this. But has it ever affected your mental health at some point?
No, the one that affected my mental health was during COVID lah.
Okay, so nothing to do with like social media.
I remember that time, like I think the highest point for me also was during COVID when the Ministry of Health invited me to be one of the person to actually do a live, no, I won't say live, but to do coverage for the press con.
Yeah, and you're not even a media journalist.
Yeah, I wasn't affiliated, like I wasn't even like under the info department. I don't really have well, it's just I'm just a freelancer lah.
Yeah.
But I felt that when they chose me is because I actually built a trust.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was the highlight for me lah during COVID. That they built that trust, and I felt that okay, maybe that's how I've built all these years. And when I said about mental health that affected me is because I was trying to do them a favor.
Yeah.
And I was then I tried to become become an investigator, use Google use CNN BBC,
Try to
getting
be as informative.
many information as I can, that I was stuck in the web
Oh.
of all this pasal COVID all the time, 24 hours, 24/7 COVID.
Yeah.
News, nothing else, nothing about my friends. My friends will ask me about information about COVID also. So I became like a dictionary lah, or like you say a Google form for Bruneians. And I became stressed. I became so stressed. And the time I was hyperventilating already, and I was thinking, is this COVID? Like, I was so breathless that time.
Yeah. It was the peak of COVID where every single abnormality your body experienced, like even the slightest headache, you're like, oh my God, do I have COVID?
Yeah, my anxiety just shoot up that time, and it was really bad. It was really, really bad. And I said to myself, I think I better take care of myself. So that time I remember I had to take like 1-2 days off from press con. No, I actually still attended press con, but I didn't want to tune into my internet. CNN, forget about it, because when I came back home, CNN is already there. So I stopped. Then it took about a week to recover in terms of like me getting back into shape mentally and emotionally. And then I remember I even called the ambulance, one time, like, I'm feeling breathless, in my experiencing COVID. Time there's no test kit, kan?
The first round. The first
round. And then the ambulance didn't come pulang because they were overwhelmed. So they asked me just to chill first.
They checked like your what you were going through.
Yeah. And then I think it was just a minor scare lah. So in terms of mental health, that was the most I felt.
Okay. Going back, rewind to the point where you receive a hate comment from the chat box, right? Saying that it really hurt you when they said like you're not even the biological son. So we're gonna explore that a little bit, because when did you ever bother hiding the fact that you are the adopted son of a princess, or were you always open about it?
I never open about it unless people ask. Didn't really matter to me now, because I know like I mean, I really treasure my mom for bringing me up. She brought me up quite well as well. Like, I was very privileged that I also managed to study abroad, and she splurged on me a lot when I was a kid, as a teenager, and she's very caring very caring. So I didn't feel like, I didn't have a sense that I was on a different league. Her care is different in a way. So when people ask me, then I just tell her I didn't have nothing to hide. But I remember that I had this dream that I actually, I won't say, but I couldn't tell by the face or the figure, but they were my biological parents back in Singapore. So when I woke up, of course, I cried lah. Like, is that a sign for me to actually
start looking for them?
But I think that it won't be fair to my mom if I was to do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Rano, like wait, how long ago was this?
Oh, this was like maybe 10 years ago.
10 years ago when you had that dream.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I was very conflicted lah. Like, I go to Singapore a lot of times, but but it just crossed my mind lah. But it never like came to a point like, okay, I have to do this. No.
Yeah. What was the earliest memory during your childhood when you found out that you were adopted?
This is quite because maybe that time when I was a kid, treatment was different. Well, of course, all of us have maids and all that, but when we go to the palace, different lah. They're segregated. Yeah. So, but I was the rebellious one. I remember.
What did you do?
Because I was supposed to be hanging out in one section, right? But no, I went go and I was with Rashid.
Oh.
Yeah, with Alibadi, they all, just hang out with them, chit chat lah.
Yeah.
Also, I was the oldest one, the rebellious one lah. Chit chat with them.
Yeah.
They didn't mind, so that was really cool.
No, sometimes they themselves, they don't mind. It's the people around them who's making a big fuss over it, right?
But I've been doing that for many years, so I thought, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so.
For the time, remember it was Gafar, Nafi. Yeah. So we, so it was very So I thought like, why want to have some segregation lah?
Yeah.
So
But have you ever felt like macam? Because okay, like I don't want to go too much into it because I'm worried we don't have time. But I can feel in the sense that I'm not adopted. I'm a real child of my mom, but my mom was adopted. So for me, like even knowing she was adopted affected me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because like I suddenly feel like I think I was like around 7 or 8 or even younger when I found out that she was adopted. And prior to that, I thought I was blood relatives with my cousins, and I am really, really close with my cousins. Some more than the others lah. So when I found that out, I was so heartbroken that I was like, wait, I'm not blood related to them. And as a child, it's thinking back now, I feel so amazed that affected me. Because it shouldn't, because no one in our family, my mom's siblings, have ever treated her or myself as like someone different who didn't come from the family. So for context, the reason why it affected me, because I don't know why it affected me at a young age, but my mom was adopted by my grandfather, who is sort of have some relationship related to the royal family, like, and my cousins, most of them have titles to their names. So macam I've always been curious lang, because my mom dulu, she kept her title that was given by my grandfather. I think only when I was like in high school, she started like accepting herself, because she became like sort of religious at some point. So she changed her name to Abdullah. Instead of Binti Pengiran Anak blah blah blah, she changed it to Binti Abdullah. And I remember I was so pissed. I was like, now everyone's gonna know, like I'm not ready for this. Like, so that created an identity crisis within me. And yang chalinya, I'm not the one yang adopted, she was. So have you ever felt something like that?
No pulang, like sometimes I was wondering like, hey, when is my face gonna appear on the book?
The dirgahayu?
Yeah, like,
yes. I receive it every year.
But no, I mean like the title is just a title pulang, like
but yeah, besides the title, like macam, oh my god, like what? I'm not related to, like for you, like abang alay, kala, like
yeah, I don't know. I mean like last time I used to be when I was a kid lah, like I was maybe taken back lah, like, hey, how come my sister got panjang namanya,
And you didn't understand it back then.
I mean, I didn't understand, but I was trying to understand, but at the same time it's like because they never really talk about it. They never really talk about it. It's like for me to find out. It's like sex education, you find out. It's not parents going to teach you.
Yes.
You learn it from your friends, from school,
Oh wow.
So the same thing with adoption lah. Of course, my mom knows that I know already, and I know that once I get married, right, that's when everything changes lah. I will actually get because the birth cert is still hold. It's not in my hands yet.
Yeah.
So then I will know. I will actually see, because I have not really seen the real name of my parents.
Oh.
Yeah, until I get to see it once I get it. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but I know already that I dreamt about it. I already knew that how I felt about it. Yeah, but it's something that maybe should be left, I don't know, maybe untouched in terms of if I was want to see them personally. And I don't know also if they're still around.
Yeah. I relate to that because my dad left when I was a year old. So during my teenage years, my mom doesn't like talking about it. So I know very, very little about my birth father. I saw pictures when I was a kid. I still remember how he looks like from pictures. But there was a point where, like you, I wanted to look for him. I want to know, like, why did he leave? Like, but then again, like now I've come to a sense where, like, why? Like my mom raised me. She's done it by herself. I mean, like I did have a stepfather at one point, but he passed away. But like apart from that, like she raised all three of her kids on her own, and like I feel like I would do such a massive disservice to her if I were to pursue like trying to look for my dad. When he had a choice, if he wanted to, he could come back and like check on me, right? But he never did. So I also don't know if he's alive or not. Yeah, he's Thai. So I relate to that in a sense where, you know, sometimes you just have to let it be. Like as much as you want to find closure and find out who your biological like parents are, maybe this is all a setup to building who we are in this life, you know? Like sometimes it's all just meant to be.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know what happened because I'm actually born in Singapore. Kan?
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'll be when I'm in Singapore. I'll probably be different.
Yeah, definitely.
Built different, you know. I'll probably be, I don't know, pilot maybe. I don't know, architect.
Yeah,
Actually,
I was actually going to ask you, if you were doing social media, what the hell are you going to do?
I actually enjoy, I want to be an architect last time when I was a kid, yeah.
I mean, you can still. You know, maybe as when you retire. Speaking of, do you have, how long more do you see? How many years left do you feel like?
I don't know. Because when I see Chinese media, right? Chinese media, or my friends, they're already in their 50s, 60s, and they're still going strong. It's like, oh, maybe, yeah. But I'm not saying that. But if it came to the point, it would be maybe a part-time already, because I have other plans as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, building businesses as well. So it's not something that I want to... It'll be interesting, though, if I manage to pull this off for another maybe 20 more years.
Wow, 20 more years. I'm already thinking of my retirement. Okay. Oh, interesting. All right. So have your success ever been discredited by comments like macam, oh, you wouldn't be as successful as you are now just because your mother is a princess. If she wasn't a princess, you probably wouldn't have received or obtained this much success. What do you have to say for that?
I don't think so. I mean, like, okay lah, I wouldn't have to appreciate my mom for she bringing me up, no? Like, you know, bringing up me to where I am now in terms of education, especially education now. Yeah. Because it's not easy nowadays. And when I did, everything is on my own. I didn't use access in terms of, oh, I'm related to this and that. No, I use it solely myself, and I guess the branding of Rano Adidas really helped. Yeah, people don't really associate, you know, that with me being. Yeah,
I think people knew about your brand first.
Yeah. So I still remember this. It's so funny. I remember this when I was in Coffee Bean or Coffee Zone. They know me as Muji's brother. Yeah. Okay. They know me as Muji's brother, not Rano's sister. My sister was quite known, right? Yeah. Oh, that's Muji's brother. Ooh. Yeah, but now it's different lah. Yeah. Oh, Rano Adidas. Yes. You know, so yeah. But I would say that interesting though. Like now I know, well, I won't say she's an influencer, but many people like to take photos with her, and that's my mom. Yeah. Oh my God, yes. My mom would have long queues, you know, like when she went to ICC, it's like, oh, she had more photos than me. Yeah. Right, one or two, but when people are queuing up to take photos with her, so I was like, oh, this is cool. No, she is though, because she's also approachable. She's so she's sporting. Yeah, she's very sporting. Yeah. So she likes, and she also likes to take photos at the same time. Yeah. So I think that's kind of cool, you know. Maybe it runs in the family, maybe she's influenced by you. I don't know. You know, actually, she's influenced by me by buying a lot of Adidas. Actually, yes. Because I remember one time, my mom never wear Adidas, but she always asks me when we go abroad. She asked me, "Okay, Rano, where you want to shop? I want to belanja you." So let's go Adidas. She knows I like Adidas. Yes. So she said, "Hey, Adidas not bad, Yeah. She will. And so every visit she will go, she'll never fail to visit Adidas. And she knows what to get for me next time. Oh my God. That's so sweet. So now you see she's always very casual. Most of the time her attire is always wearing sporty stuff. I'm done touching on family. Like, thank you so much for opening up that story. Have you ever been asked that before? Yeah, I mean, like in proper interviews. No.
So,
No,
oh,
no,
okay.
never asked
So
me.
you've never talked about it like publicly, like in a
No,
new setting?
no, no.
Okay. Social media influencers, content creators are on the rise now.
Mm.
Do you see anyone here as a competitor? You feel like?
Not really, because maybe it depends. The competitors will be those people who are uprising, who are
Yeah.
new, who are in the midst.
Yeah.
They'll be competing for slots.
Yeah.
So for me, it's different because I do have my long-term clients.
Yeah.
I do have not saying that will diss the competition, but I think it's more about having they trust what I do. They know my style. They like
Yeah.
my style. When
Yeah.
they say that they prefer my style, then I know that there is no other competition. No.
Oh my God, I can't believe I almost forgot to ask you this. Like, how, okay, wait, I understand you're doing social media, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's kept you financially afloat doing this. Like, I think you're one of the few people that I know that are doing this full time. Like, if you don't mind, you can feel free to say like you don't want to say. Tapi like macam on average, we can do this monthly or yearly. How much do you earn from doing social media work?
It ranges. So sometimes I can easily get maybe on a bad day it will be like maybe in a month I can maybe hit about almost 3K.
That's a bad day.
Yeah.
Guys, excuse me, I'm offended.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, depends. Yeah. On a good one can be can go up five, maybe 4 or 5. Yeah. But funny enough, like sometimes I remember in the beginning, right? I'll be knocking on people's doors. I'm like an insurance agent, you know, like, hey guys, trust my work. Yeah.
You because you believe in yourself.
Yeah, belief is one. Yeah. So I think the HSBC was the pinnacle where I felt like, oh, someone believe in me.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, Rano, this is it. Let's go for it.
You just need one person or one
yeah.
company who believes in you, and then that sets the standard.
Yeah.
Amazing, Rano.
So now it's like depends lah. Like sometimes Puasa is quite a good for me
It's a good
because
one,
a lot of food businesses. But I really have long term clients lah who supported me. I know like Jati Transport.
Yeah.
BIBD as well.
Yeah.
Some of the banks, Baiduri, telcos like Progressive. You know, they're very 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 supportive.
Yeah.
And then the big ones, and then we have the small ones lah. So that kept me going, I guess.
And you're a one-man show, right? Do you have
I used to have people working for me.
Yeah.
But I know like one day, like this is the thing about me. It's like personally, I like to work alone.
Yeah.
But if I want to go further, I need a team. You know, so I'm always conflicting with this.
Okay. Also, you're still deciding lah.
Yeah, I had a team before.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're having a team is easy, like, because I do the editing, you know. The thing is, I love doing it.
Yeah.
So to get people to do it, it's like, yeah. And people know my style also. Like sometimes I'm not the type like have to look really fancy, you know.
Yeah.
Because my point is to get the message across.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to make the video into like, oh, it has to be in 4K or
Yeah.
you know,
Okay. Yeah.
it's a nice transition, you know. The video must look sharp. And yeah, so me, I just use my phone. Last time I told you I used to carry a notebook and a camera. I stopped carrying a camera, I think 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just in my shelf now.
Yeah. Because
I waste so much money on the lens, but I just now use my phone.
Yeah.
And I thought that is more, even though the phone doesn't give as a better vibe in terms of the quality of the video or the image, but it is enough to give the message across.
Yeah.
So that's how I want to portray it in terms of how I deliver the message.
Yeah. And it's and message received, I feel. Yeah.
But I ever thought, what happens if this is the maybe thing that I want to share. What happens if Rano Adidas punya Instagram got hacked? Hacked meaning that I couldn't get access anymore. Like, oh man, I'm gonna rebuild myself. So for me, I felt like I'm very confident if, touch wood, if it gets hacked, I know that I can still I still have my image in my persona
Yeah.
that I can still carry.
Okay.
It won't affect me,
Yeah.
and I can start from scratch.
Yeah.
Though it'll take some time, but the brand is out there already.
Yeah.
People know.
That is a really good mindset to have, because most people are fearful of, like, because at any moment all of this can be taken away. So you gotta detach yourself from it, you know, and believe in yourself that should all of this be taken away, you can always start over again. You know.
Yeah.
You're wise. That's what 21 years of being in this field does to one person, huh? Yeah. Oh my God. I honestly, I can go on and on. When you mention friends, now I'm curious, like, have you ever encountered fake friends, people who are with you just because of clout, and how do you deal with them?
It's really hard to say about the clout part, because I have, it's quite interesting though. Like, let's say, like, if I was to have a bachelor's party for me, yeah, I would have different set of friends, you know, because, like, I have a lot of close friends, but in different batches.
Yes, I get that.
Like, even if I was to invite for open houses, like, oh man, that's always the tricky part.
You have your social media friends.
Social media
You have your
friends.
tennis friends.
Tennis friends. I have my Toastmasters friends.
Yeah.
I have my so many type of friends, you know. And I know they are my true friends, you know, but I don't find someone who have clout. Maybe it's indirect, meaning that they're friends of friends who want to join. Not, they don't directly come to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have also friends, not friends, mutual friends. Like, example, like, hey Rano, I want to come to your house for open house. Yeah, random people that I don't know. Oh, I don't know how to respond to this.
Yeah, I mean, props to them for having the ball to ask you directly, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know how to react to that.
So that one, I know generally that's not clout.
Yeah.
I just want to come and, because they never catch on me, or they always say something to my stories and all that. So I thought that that's a very funny lah. Like, you know, normally people, my friends will ask, hey, Rano, what's your open house? They're like, you can't visit you.
Sorry, but this is weird.
But speaking of clout, this one I can observe.
Okay.
There's a lot of clout chases
in
Brunei, meaning that they feel that they can give value lah. Okay, that's fine. But at the same time, they feel they're already up there, meaning that they can claim themselves as, ano lah. So sometimes people will piggyback on other people. Like, example, like, you know, so they can have better clout points lah.
Yeah.
So that's okay. That's normal, I would say, because I know I have some friends who actually rely on clout for.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're quite successful now.
Oh,
yeah.
So it worked.
It worked. Yeah, sometimes.
Cool.
Yeah, sure, but it does work. It does work. You know, so okay, kudos to them lah.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's not. It's more about how you know how to play that game.
Okay, and you're still friends with this people?
Of course lah. They're no harm to me. But I felt that I guess that's also an opportunity for them.
Yeah.
But of course lah, for me that won't be the way lah, because you want to be genuine, kan?
Yes.
So the most important for me is integrity.
Yeah.
I will always have my integrity intact when it comes to doing my stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how you build trust lah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm really appreciative to all especially my clients lah, who still stay with me and believe in me. And I think it's all about trust and integrity. So I think that's part and parcel lah when it comes to relationship and business.
Yeah.
And this is also very important in my line, or in my line of work. I think the most important thing is public relations. Public relations is very important for me. That helps to cement my relationship further with my clients. Yeah. So people think about clients, and people think about advertisements and or any gigs that I get. It's more about public relations. Yeah.
Networking.
So every time when I go, so remember I told you that the first person I met is always the CEO. And
Yeah.
So now I have a lot of contacts, not just contacts, but when I do meet them, it's always on a high level. So for me, like
delegate. Oh, not even head of department. It's like CEO, C-suite.
One thing is that. But if, example, when it comes to events and all that, so networking with a lot of people in higher management, and that for me is already a form of success lah. Yeah, because they acknowledge you. They I guess it's more about I think they kind of know that this is my kind of line of field. Also connection with the embassies and the high commissions also really help.
Okay.
And sometimes I feel I don't know when they speak to me, especially the consulates and the delegates, the diplomatic corps, when they address to me, and they make me feel like I'm really high up.
Oh, really?
So I feel like no.
Oh, macam like apa tu? Macam segan, like
no. They feel like they really appreciate what I do.
Yeah.
Like they really want me to be on board and help them. So I felt that was very nice now.
Yeah.
So that I felt a sense of importance in helping them.
Wow.
So that's when I know that I made it.
Yeah.
It's not about the dollars and cents. Yeah. So I guess public relations for me is very, very important.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Amazing insight. Yeah, I really, really appreciate you, like, again, like saying yes to this podcast. Like, and I feel like I've gotten to know you, like your psyche, like macam how you think about, like, yeah, it's definitely because sometimes when you see people on social media, right, like especially Instagram, you have some assumptions, or like you come up with your own impression of how that person is. Like spending time with you now, an hour plus, is like I got to know you on a deeper level, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thanks for the questions.
Yeah, I really have like a newfound respect lah for you, like especially with your openness and vulnerability. Well, yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, IZZY.
Thank you. All right. Crazy, Rano, you are crazy. So you know what? This has been in the works. Remember when we were at the Porsche event?